The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Okay, so Barbie discourse is here again. Y'all are too high for my liking right now. Let me lower y'all. Okay, that's better. But as I was saying, Barbie discourse is here, and it is reminding me of an essay that I wrote in me and my friend Amaya Janelle's book called Do Not Call Me Sis. And the essay focuses more so about the discussion that surrounded the Barbie movie instead of the Barbie movie itself. But instead of like the movie itself, it also just talked about the culture that surrounds the Barbie brand overall. And I find it kind of interesting because so much of what is spoken about that I have seen going on, because I seen Khadijah posted a video about it, but I also saw Yara Zay posted a video about it, and Jessie Gender posted a video about it just as well. I'll have all three of their videos linked down below if you guys are interested in watching them. But it's just like making me laugh a bit because it's reminding me of so much of what we spoke about in this book. And one of the main key things that always comes up when it comes to the subject of Barbie is white feminism. And one of the main factors that we talk about in our book has to be white feminism. We actually have two essays in this book that are about Barbie. Amaya wrote one herself that more so focused on the dolls, and I wrote one that more so focused on the subject of the movie. The one Amaya wrote is called Barbie is Not Just White, but the one I wrote is called Mermaids, Adaptations, and White Selfishness. Now I am going to sit here and read to you guys a piece of what I said in the book, and then we will continue on. By the way, y'all, since this is like promo from a book, this bonnet came from my shop. If y'all like Moon Girl, I got Moon Girl bonnets. I say yes, I can acknowledge the misogyny that surrounds Barbie. People were throwing fits about this being a very girly movie, where so much of the clothing and sets were pink. A significant number of the cast members were female. The movie is written and directed by a woman, who is white, by the way. Because Hollywood and the film industry overall in general have been nasty towards women in envy since the existence, this is a big deal. This movie was made by the same sector that blackballs women for not wanting to wealthy men for opportunities. A film about women made by women is progressive when you look at the circumstances. But what white women in envies are using Barbie as an excuse to not watch other projects led by women of color. This is where many white women in envies feminism falls flat. That's our main issue here. Many movies and series have come out recently about girls and women of color that have been tossed aside by them because they are not about white girls and women. Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana. Welcome to or welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry Hood's Pirate Ship. I am the captain. You were not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. I'm gonna take it out of my bonnet. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Y'all, I promise y'all, I'm gonna get back to talking more about the family entertainment more so in the weeks to come. It's just so many things have been going through my brain about more mainstream things, and I just been needing to talk about them, and I'm not starting a second channel. Fuck that shit. But today we're just gonna talk about Barbie, and it's just boiling down to the fact that we as a society, we just need to do better about expanding our media diets and doing better with them. And that is something that I really have been talking about a lot lately within the last few months, because you guys are familiar with my most recent Disney December season that I did last December. So much of that was in defense of art, but also so much of me defending art lately has to do with the fact that I think people need to broaden their horizons. But before we get started, Alright, I just do have a few little announcements. If you guys liked what you heard from me reading in the book that me and Amaya wrote last summer called Do Not Call Me Sis, which is a collection of essays about fandom, misogyny, noir, ableism, entertainment, and white feminism, we are holding a book discussion celebrating Black History Month on February 17th. It is going to be virtual. It's going to be 18 plus, so it's for the grown folks only. And yeah, if you guys are interested, the tickets to that will be down below. Tickets are only $2.50, by the way. And if you guys are interested in purchasing the book link will be down below. Okay, the next thing is that I also have a digital zine out, and that one is less serious than this book, but the zine is called What I Was Doing Instead of My Homework, and it is basically stories from fandoms that I was in growing up. Some are more on the ranty side, some are a bit humorous. I talk about the Kicking It fandom because that is something that I was deeply involved with when I was younger, and yeah, pretty humorous, pretty ranty, funny overall. If you guys are interested in that, the link to that will be down below. It's a digital zine, by the way, because we did not have the money to be going and printing these things. Oh Jesus, I know zines are like print. Oh, we ain't had the money. All right, moving forward, let's continue on with the ongoing Barbie discourse that just doesn't seem to fail to end. For one, I am somebody that wasn't all that excited about the Barbie movie to begin with. Mind you, I was never necessarily a Barbie girl. And when I say I'm not really a Barbie girl, I love the Barbie girl song, first of all, so let's start there. But when it came to like the doll line that I was really super duper interested in, everyone has like their go-to doll line. And if you guys are familiar with this channel, you know what it is. It's My Scene. It's funny because My Scene has Barbie in it, but later on when Barbie left, we ended up getting like a new person and whatever the fuck. But My Scene has always been my go-to doll line, and that is just what I've always latched to. I've always really liked Monster High 2 just as well. I've always loved Bratz, but one thing I noticed when it came to substance, Bratz versus Barbie, the Bratz films are not that great compared to the Barbie movies. I'm just gonna say it. They're just not that good in quality. And one thing that I have always given Barbie its praise for is that they spent more time caring more so about the quality of the products that they were putting out versus just putting things out to sell toys. Because as much as I loved the Bratz Babies movie growing up, had it on DVD, watched it all the time, it's not that great of a film. Does music, that's bangers, okay? I love the Ready or Not song so fucking much. Literally always play it all the time. But those films need work. That live action Bratz movie needed work. And I don't want to sit here and say that that is like a fair comparison, comparing the live action Bratz movie to the live action Barbie movie, because it was completely different budgets. The vibes were completely different. They're just not necessarily comparable. The only thing you can sit there and compare about it is that they're both live action films based off of doll lines. Next, I am somebody that doesn't necessarily care too much when it comes to award show season, because one, I don't give a fuck about celebrity culture no more. It is something that I really started to remove myself from in 2020, and it's part of the reason why I just completely cut out making videos about like celebrity drama in general, because one, I didn't necessarily like it, and two, I just felt like I didn't want like a lot of my audience to be here for that. But I just simply don't want to give so much of my attention to something that has tainted society. But that is one reason why I necessarily don't give a fuck about award show season anymore. But two, I don't necessarily think that we should be holding something up like by like how many awards it gets. Like that does not determine the value for it. Well, yes, I do agree that a lot of these things should be recognized for their work and whatnot. I personally just don't think putting like a prize label on something determines that it's better than other things, because there are a lot of movies that have won Oscars that I don't give a shit about. There are a lot of movies that are nominated for Oscars that I just don't like, and then a lot of the films that I do love that would fit into like the Oscar category, because we know not every film out here is out here trying to win an Oscar. Monster High 13 Wishes is one of them. I love that movie down. It's literally one of like my top 20 films of all time. I know Monster High 13 Wishes is never going to get like the acclaim, Oscar-ish, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say right now. It's just not gonna get that. But that's not necessarily what that movie is going for. That's part of the reason why I was a bit surprised to see that the Barbie movie had necessarily gotten all of these nominations. But also, I had to remember that Hollywood is, like I said, it's so interesting to see what gets nominated for Oscars, because so much of it has to do with bribing, I'd say, but also it's just like, yeah, we're here to make money, we're here to make that bag. And people tend to think that because a film made a lot of money that it automatically is Oscar worthy. Just because it made a lot of big bank does not necessarily mean it's going to win an Oscar. There are movies out here that have won Oscars that are indie films and did not make nearly as much of what Disney's Frozen has made. And I'm pretty sure Frozen is an Oscar winning film. I'm pretty sure it does. Listen, Frozen need work. Elsa, I love Elsa's character, okay? She is a character that I have grown to love now that I have gotten older and I can understand her a bit more, but that film, it needed work. And when I sit here and say that the film needed work, I personally am not a fan of the last fourth of the Barbie movie. It just didn't do it for me. I liked the movie up until the last fourth when Barbie like apologized to Ken. And it wasn't necessarily her apologizing to Ken. It's just I noticed that that is where so much of it just kind of fell apart for me, because there was one specific scene with America Ferrera's character that I didn't necessarily like all much. Mind you, I love America Ferrera. She is mother, okay? I think she does deserve that Oscar nomination despite me not necessarily caring on if somebody gets that like award or not. But she's a very talented actor, and I wish she got nominated for something else, but she's good. She's great. She's amazing at what she does. This reminded me when we were talking about Niecy Nash had won an Emmy, and it was for that Jeffrey Dahmer show. And we were like, we're just gonna pretend she won it for Never Have I Ever, because she's a talented woman and she deserves the praise that is put out for her. But that scene with America Ferrera's character where she ends up giving this white ass take about feminism and how the world views women, and it was very much giving white women, it really just goes to show you that the way a lot of people took this information, because some people were viewing it more so like, oh, she was teaching this to Barbie because she didn't understand feminism. And then a lot of people were like, yeah, we get that, but y'all are sitting here and acting like this film has said and done things that we have never seen before. And when it comes to the subject of set design, yes, it has. I think the set design for this film is amazing. Okay, I think it's great. But when it comes to the writing, it's just I've seen it done before. When it comes to movies about feminism, and movies that aren't necessarily about feminism, but they're created by women and they're about women and girls and whatever, they've handled the subject a lot better more. And seeing what so many people are saying about Barbie and how people love the movie and this and that and the third and how special it was to them, while yes, they are allowed to feel that way, I think y'all need to go and watch more movies. I really think y'all need to sit and watch more movies that are about women, that are made by women, and more so not just white women, women of color especially. Because when it comes to the way we view misogyny and feminism, it is a lot different for women of color than it is versus white women. And I sit here and I talk about this film all the fucking time. Perfect Blue is a great film in my opinion that really shows like how society views women in the public eye. And the movie is about a Japanese woman named Mima. Now, while Perfect Blue is a story that was directed by a man, and there are certain scenes in here where it's a bit obvious, because there's this one scene in here where I'm just like, was it really that necessary for it to be that damn graphic? But anyway, it's a film that has a lot of nuances to that, and I feel like nuance was a bit lost with this Barbie movie, because I got so irritated with the fact that they just kept saying everything to the audience. They keep saying it, and I'm very big on show and don't tell, and I kind of get irritated when like film in general just talks to the audience like they're stupid, regardless of the age demographic that it's made for. I will never shut up about Monster High 13 Wishes. I will literally sit here and talk about that movie so much. I actually have another Monster High video coming up, and it does focus on that movie again. But thinking about the feminist values that went into that film, so much of it just had to do with a girl not necessarily wanting to accept who she is, but she really couldn't handle the fact that people just aren't gonna vibe with her because of who she is, and she shouldn't care. And I took away so much more from Monster High 13 Wishes than I did the Barbie film when it came to like girlhood and society. I'm telling y'all, I love Monster High 13 Wishes so much that I was boo-hooing and crying, like nasty snotty nose crying after watching that film. But part of the reason why I was able to understand that movie better on that level had to do with the fact that I'm making an effort to go out and watch different things. I know a lot of people sit and talk about this thing is my comfort show, this thing is this and that and the third, and while yes, you are allowed to have that to be your comfort show, limiting yourself to only one thing really will affect the way you view others. Like, it's actually deeply concerning. Like, there are certain things where people talk about they only listen to one genre of music, and I'm just like, can you necessarily even call yourself a fan of something if you only limited yourself to one type of thing and one genre of thing? Like, what do you guys think about that? Let me know, because this topic often comes up when it comes to the subject of manga and anime, where people be like, are you a real anime fan if you're not necessarily into things that fall into the shonen demographic? And I was like, yes, you technically are. It doesn't matter if you like something here, you like it. But I noticed that when it comes to takes about media and seeing what certain people say, it really goes into show you that this person just doesn't have a decent enough media diet to understand the context of what's going on here or to understand what's wrong. People are gonna sit here and defend the Barbie movie down. Sorry for stuttering. What am I saying sorry for? But people are always gonna sit here and defend that movie, and that is a point that I mentioned in this book, that yes, it is necessary to defend the Barbie movie because it was a big budget Hollywood film directed by a woman and co-written by a woman, and because of how misogynistic the film industry is and just the entertainment industry in general, that is a big deal. So it makes sense for people to sit here and defend the Barbie film, because remember when everybody was like, they panties was in a bunch complaining about Barbie, talking about this is a man hater movie and this and that and the third, and if you actually watch the movie, no, absolutely not. The reason why it just got really, really hard to criticize this film is because the wrong people were having such awful takes about this movie. But then again, that doesn't exempt the fact that there are actual problems here. As much as I love Monster High 13 Wishes, that movie had problems. I'm not even gonna act like it didn't. While I will sit here and give that movie 5 stars, I will sit here and say that this movie really should not have been trying to focus on so many damn people at one time. And that is one problem that I have just had with a lot of Monster High movies, because the way they sit here and promote these movies, they make it seem like it's going to be about like the main characters, like, you know, Frankie, Cleo, Dracula, what's the other one? Claudine. How did I forget Claudine? The HBIC. They sit here and try to present these films like it's going to be about those 4 when you look at the posters and everything like that. And then when you actually watch the movie, it's about a completely different person. That's the main focus. Why wasn't Howleen on, like, you know, the actual promo for Monster High 13 Wishes? Like, let's actually talk about that. But also another thing that irritated me with Monster High 13 Wishes is because this is seen to be Howleen Wolf's movie, but then we kept getting shit where it was just like the regular main Monster High people. That is like a big issue that I have always had with Monster High films, because I'm like, I don't think it's necessary for y'all to keep trying to focus y'all damn attention for every single last movie you're making on these 4. Like, come on. If the movie is not about them, let's deal with something else. Broe Deschanel, I've been talking about her channel quite a lot more lately on like my channel. I love her channel, by the way. I think it's great. I love her podcast. I will have the links to that down below. She made a very good video talking about how she was feeling cynical about Barbie, because while we can talk about how there was so much misogyny that surrounded this movie, that doesn't exempt it from there actually being problems with the film. The Barbie movie, in my opinion, tried to operate like it was the most popular girls in school, but at the same time, it's like, this isn't the most popular girls in school. This is not a knockoff of y'all brand. This is actually y'all doing the said thing. And I personally would not have caught that if I am just somebody that didn't watch movies all the time. Okay, that is just something that I was able to catch, mainly because I watched so many other different things. And I don't sit here and say that I watched so many other different things because life gets in the way. Like, I gotta work, I got school, I have other, you know, responsibilities to take care of. I have to take care of my health. I get it. We don't have the time to sit here and watch film and TV and movies and read books all day. I get it. I understand that completely. But at the same time, I am very big on people admitting when they are not educated enough to speak on a subject. My ass done had to do that a few times, okay? Well, I wanted to sit here and talk about something simply because my audience wanted me to talk about it. And just coming to the conclusion, yeah, girl, you just not educated enough to speak about this. Just be quiet. Remember, you can shut the fuck up. And I know we sit here and talk about like accessibility. Let me sit here and tell you, if you have accessibility to the internet, there are a lot of more sources now in this day and age to have access to free, legal content versus back then. Tubi. Y'all got, you got the internet, you got Tubi for free. You gotta watch all them ads on this shit, but you got Tubi, okay? You got that shit for free. But guess what? Tubi not only just has movies, and this is not like a Tubi ad, by the way, it sounds sponsored, but Tubi does not only just have movies, but they also have shows on there just as well. That's why I be watching a lot of my shows. Gangsta, by the way, you know, the anime manga that I won't shut the fuck up about, that I'm in love with, you can watch it on Tubi, y'all. You gotta watch it in sub though. I'm not sure they got the dub version on there, but it's on Tubi. You can watch the shit on Tubi, but YouTube also offers lots more free content now. There are channels out here, I know specifically like the Cartoon Network channel, and I know the Adult Swim channel, they have live streams of where they play their shows. I know there are a lot more shows on here that they put the episodes out for free for people to watch. There are lots of free movies that you can sit here and stream. We have access to be able to watch more free material, but also y'all, your local library. Your library. I remember back in the day when I was real broke and I was struggling, I would go to the library like every week and pick out some DVDs to watch, pick out some movies, and I go home and I watch them and then I go and return them. And I know, you know, this is me promoting the library because I really think a lot of y'all need to go. Not me over here being Miss Becky Botsford. You know who Becky Botsford is? Comment Becky is great down below because I adore Becky. That's my idol right there. But speaking of like the library has like digital library. Libby, if you have access to your public library, you have access to so much free and insightful material, okay? Like, please utilize your library, please utilize your sources. If you want to do better about intaking more media so you can understand a little bit more when it comes to the nuances of just filmmaking and creating in general, you gotta do a little bit better about what you choose to intake. Because I remember somebody had said something along the lines of, I don't understand how you can be a writer and not read books. And I was like, oh, I get that. Because there's a lot of filmmakers out here that stand by not watching other movies and just making their own. And I'm just like, yeah, that's gonna show on y'all work. That most definitely is gonna show on y'all work. And I remember it was this one dumbass dude that I had met on set. I talked mad shit about him in my first book, by the way, You're Not Crucial. But he said something along the lines talking about how real actors don't watch movies and TV shows. And I was just like, how are you guys expected to work in this field and do the said thing if you don't intake media for what you are pursuing career-wise? Like, that's just something I just don't get. I don't understand it. That's just something that is beyond me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say. I didn't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to get on here and rant because Barbie discourse is something that I have just been trying to stay away from, mainly because I don't want to get jumped. But I was not a fan of that last fourth of the movie. I do think it's a pretty solid film up until there. There are a lot of aspects of it that were done pretty well. I think Issa Rae was amazing. I wish we saw her more in the film. Yeah, Margot Robbie, she always slays. Ryan Gosling, husbando. Okay, I was just joking with y'all, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, if you guys are interested in what me and Amaya had to say, we deeply appreciate it. You get our book. The link to that will be down below. Come to the book discussion if you can. We deeply appreciate that. The zine, link to that will be down below. Also have Patreon, by the way. I haven't really been promoting my Patreon that much lately. When I say lately, I mean like the last year. But yeah, I do have Patreon. I do offer exclusive blog posts and early access to like my videos and my blog posts too, just as well. But you also get first looks at the things that I have coming soon for my shop and whatnot. It's pretty fun. And then also I do sometimes post like early access to like my cosplay content. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, have a great day, night, whatever time of the day you're watching this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.
So now that you see, you should beware of the power of three. They come to fight as fast as they can. They're dangerous yet fabulous. Because the Utonium made them eschew. They are the colors of pink, green, and blue. They'll catch you in the blink of an eye and do it all before bedtime. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical that's they coming through and coming through, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical that's. Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay.